Yo,
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Thursday. It's Tex and Ads, your crypto spirit guides,
it
leading
is.
leading you to the moon,
It is.
or are we? Who knows? It's been an interesting week, very interesting week since last Thursday's episode. Obviously, as we said, alts have continued to run. We've been really active on posting alts inside the Discord, the free Discord, things like ICX, OMG, FBTC. Oh shit, there was tons of them. There was absolutely tons of them that we had posted. ONT, I think, was one as well. Raven. So yeah, been really active on that.
Yep.
Uh, is alt season over? Well, time will tell on that. And as we've said a number of times, it's not alt season per se. It's not the 27 sort of alt season euphoria that we saw a couple of years ago. It's these mini cycles
Yep.
cycles of coin runs, and that's why we're so adamant on sort of saying to everyone, whether it be our members inside Discord or publicly on Facebook or in the free Discord, Twitter, TradingView, you name it, when opportunities like this present itself with alts, you really need to capitalize on it. So for myself, I would say, an aggressive altcoin trader when it comes to points like this. Very late nights, very early mornings, but when you can capitalize on a couple of week runs like this, you can really, it takes a lot less stress out of worrying what Bitcoin's doing when you're able to just make sats and alts, convert it back to BTC, and then just jump into USDT or PAX, which we've been very vocal about, and that I
Yes.
have done. So on Tuesday night, may have been last night or the night before, I think it was late Tuesday night, I was heavy in a number of alt positions. And then in unison, they all started pulling back. And I said to the guys, I said, I'm 100% out of alts. I pulled back to BTC only. Obviously, I'm still a good portion of USDT in the anticipation of things going to the downside, which technically, if we're looking at things right now, could still very much be a possibility. We'll go into that in just a second, but yeah, as I said, and as I've said a number of times now, you can use the correlation between what alts are doing and what BTC is about to do, and vice versa. Because every time we see these alts pull back aggressively or in unison, I'm not just talking every little, a couple of alts here and there. You know that people are pulling liquidity out of alts and pulling it into BTC or into USDT in anticipation of a move. And surely enough, we got that. Talking to the guys, I was expecting a move back down towards sort of 8.5. I was in a short position. I cut that. I cut that early this morning for a number of reasons. We didn't see the penetration of this demand zone that I was really expecting, I suppose. We had that move there on the 26th of of May.
Yep.
We came up, we hit the 23, rejected beautifully from there. And as I've said a number of times, which I'll annotate yet again, these types of moves are pretty common. These little double bottoms, they're not technically double bottoms, but these double bottom moves. And moves back up to the upside. So the second that we had that, and then we had this little bullish green candle there, and then a confirmation of another bullish candle from there, although not a strong confirmation, it was confirmation enough for me to take an entry. And then, thankfully we had this move, and we're kind of sort of consolidating here again. So for myself, and as I've said to the guys in Discord as well, this move to the upside needs to validate for me for a move above 9.3, ideally 9.5 close and break above. I've been short since 9.250. I'm now considering what I'm doing in this position because we are sitting sort of tightly here at the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's anyone's game at the moment. I think, talking to, seeing a friend of the show, friend of the Trade Hacker podcast, Bitcoin Jack, he is pretty aggressively long at the moment in anticipation of us hitting that 9.7 level, which would tie up really, really well with the 78 fib level, which we've got there. Still very much a lot in the way of us getting there at the moment. The most notably this 9.2, 9.1, 9.3 level, which we spoke about, being rejected at once before. But we can see now from looking at this, we've had 1, 2, 3 goes at this.
Yeah.
It's technically, looking at that, we would expect another move of this and a potential close above to be a pretty bullish sign. But again, it's really anyone's game at the moment. We still haven't made a higher high, even with this wick here. We didn't make really a higher high. One thing that has given me a little bit of confidence here is this formation. So as I had said to the guys before, when we were expecting this or not expecting this breakout, it was I want to say it was like this formation that we were looking at, this descending wedge formation, and we had something like this drawn out. And on Tuesday, as I said to the guys again, I said we could potentially do something like this, and which would be a retest of this wedge. So we can head back up towards this overall macro downtrend line, retest our horizontal, our diagonal downtrend line, and then potentially head back up again. So we seem to be kind of following that path at the moment. Hence the reason why I shorted at 9.250 with the anticipation of maybe heading back down towards this 8.9, 8.85 level before another move up. So I'm sitting in this short. In profit very, very slightly at the moment, and really we talk, and looking at the market so often, you see these regular moves, and we've said it a number of times. Monday is a regular move statistically to the upside. Looking at previous Mondays beforehand, which is about Monday morning, anywhere between sort of 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. our time. Wednesday nights, Thursday mornings, or Thursday evenings is the time where we again have more volatility in the market. And because we haven't seen the volatility that we're accustomed to over the last few weeks, that does make me a little nervous. So this could be a little accumulation range here at the moment before I move to the upside. If that does happen, 9.3, 9.5, 9.7, they're really my levels. And from that, I'd expect more moves to the downside from there. So sorry to hijack this ads, but I just wanted to sort of blurt that out and vent all of that. It's what we've been saying in the Discord ads. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, man. What are you thinking?
My thoughts very much aligned with you, bro, to be honest. 9.3 is a significant level, as you probably would imagine, with this level of short-term supply lining up very nicely with the 50. Again, 9.5 would be around that 68 retracement from our swing high to swing low. And it is a consistent level. But I think if we're going to get to here, Ty, if we do break and close above the 61, I'd be more inclined to really look at this level here, if I can draw it in very quickly, which would be here. That would be my level of supply that I would probably place around that area of liquidity. And that would be around that 9.7 mark, what that you did mention. So very, very much aligned in that thought process. But I'm still skeptical about this downtrend line that we've been trying to stay above and failing. So look, this move that in my book, from this demand level, this level here was quite significant anyway, where we did have a lot of liquidity even on the daily. There was a significant pivot point here. So I do think this bounce, considering the 4-hour indicators and our steamroller was in a decent position to long, I think it was warranted that we did have some form of momentum to the upside to really satisfy this sort of action here. But ultimately, what I've been saying on the Discord is ultimately, whether or not we do, continue to move up on the 4-hour, on the higher time frames, it does look a bit more grim, and more than likely we will continue down overall, but that might take a little more time.
Yeah, and one lesson that I've learned this week is to never fucking doubt steamroller. I said to the guys, I said I had this bearish bias that we were headed back down towards that 8.5 level. I said, whoa, hang on, we've got our first steamroller since I think the 20th of March. I think ads.
Yeah, it was.
Steamroller.
It was a while ago.
Oversold condition. Our first sort of
proper 30th of March.
Oversold condition. Steamroller pretty much calling every single top. And every single move to the downside. So, we're still ranging within this parallel channel if we're looking at our indicators. This is our custom steamroller indicator. It's not showing a sign of strength in terms of the angle of the sort of trajectory that it's showing on the excuse me, Corona on the 4-hour. And looking at our CCI, it is starting to get a little high. That doesn't really mean a great deal on the CCI because we're more so spotting divergences with it. But the RSI still has a little bit of room to move, which I think would tie in well with 9395. One thing to be conscious of as well, and we've said this a million times, is this formation. So we've now got a W bottom. We're looking for a break, or this could very much be it. This could be the break and the retest of the neckline. Before another move up. So, I hate to be that guy that says we could go up or we could go down, but just with everything we're experiencing at the moment, we're kind of just ranging. There is no real dramatic up or dramatic down so much because, look, and when you could say, well, Ty, well, fuck, we've had these moves to these aggressive moves. Yes, we had, but, there's not really too much happening outside of this zone at the moment. So, it's just up, down, and we said that a number of weeks ago. Said that between sort of 8.8 and 9.25 in the short term could be our range. And for our higher end range is 9.9 and 8.8, and those were the higher, the range highs and the range lows that we were talking about. So. Nothing too exciting at the moment. Alt season, or this mini alt season that we've spoken about, has really taken a lot of my time. Seeing some alts now, which we'll get into in just a moment. Theta had this massive move. We're seeing a little bit of a move now to the upside from things like ICX, Troy, BTC, a very low market cap. Wow, that was a brilliant touch on demand there from Tuesday night. Troy, we spoke about on Tuesday night, was a low market cap gem. If you go to Hitcoins.
That's right.
So that's
is that one there?
Yeah. So Troy, BTC. And if you just go to the chat ads, I'll show you the chart that I had up. So on Tuesday, I posted a pretty detailed, short albeit detailed analysis of where you can look to buy pullbacks on altcoins that had run. Seeing it very, very constantly. I think it was ONT, Wabi, ICX. I posted 3 or 4 charts with this exact same setup. This big run to the upside, these impulse moves pullbacks between the 38 and the 61, more often than not the 38 and the 50. On Tuesday, I had laid my buys in at 50 and the 61. There are a number of other metrics that we look at to determine altcoins that could possibly be running, which we share inside the Discord. I'm not going to give that away here, but a number of metrics that we looked at, and I've just cut that for 25%. So it's still, there's still sporadic alts running, which gives me a little bit of confidence that we're still going to be able to find some that are running, which means that there's not all the liquidity in BTC. But having a look at ETHBTC, which we'll get to in a minute, we're going to have a look at ETHUSD at the moment. A lot of people very excited about ETHUSD at the moment. A lot of people very bullish on the USD pair. And looking at this ads, what are we seeing?
So very clear breakout of that downwards moving or downwards sloping trend line from, this is a lower time frame, the 4 hour. The target ultimately was either one of these two demand levels, in which we did test and respect this level at the $198 mark, which was admittedly our first target around on the Tuesday night. So we did hold that. Unfortunately, pushing through it for the next time we visit this, it might not be so favorable there. But in any case, we did push and break out, and we are retesting that downwards trend line tie. So we could see more upwards movement. If we want to see that, we need to break this level here on the left-hand side at $210 to make that higher high and continue back up to 216, where we see this very, very short-term supply there.
Yeah, and we've been talking about the volume profile quite a bit. We did a volume profile sort of masterclass with our guys a couple of weeks ago. So looking at where we stand now, if we zoom out just a touch ads, so we can take in a little bit more data. So looking at where we stand right now, we're sitting right on this point of control, and we can see the top of those high volume nodes resting just below that top supply zone that we have there as well. And again, looking at this, I hate to harp on it, this formation, this W bottom retest, and we see that so often. So this is the neckline right now. We're retesting this neckline. We have made a lower low here though. So if we were to come down and break this neckline, I would expect maybe a hold up at around the sort of 202, 203 level. Before potentially heading back down towards that demand zone. Should we break and test above, we've got a nice little gap there, these high volume nodes, which indicate that maybe around that 214, 215 mark, which would make a nice sort of 3-4% move at leverage if you are playing at leverage. And we can sort of see here, we've got, these high volume sort of, clusters of candle structure there as well. And, looking at the very top of this wick as well, that sort of seems, logical perhaps. Correct. So there's quite a bit going on here, and this could very much be our range. If we were to break below this point here, again, this 232 203, whatever that level is. Again, our high volume clusters sit right around this demand zone, and again, a pretty evident lack of volume leading to here. So correct. Really, this here is our last line of support. Yep. This again could just be our range for a while. But whilst I look at alts as well for determining where BTC might be headed, look at the correlation between BTC and F. One will follow the other. Some on ETHUSD or just BTC USD, because you want to try and look for one that's leading on. If ETH has a move, BTC tends to do the same. If BTC has a move, ETH tends to lag slightly behind. Yeah. So be constantly watching and setting alerts. And, if we go to our alerts on the right-hand side there, ads, right? We've got tons set for our guys. So, utilize that and make the most of it.
Yeah, there's a few.
Just a couple.
There's a few.
All right, let's look at the FBTC pair.
FBTC coming at you, bro. All right. So what I was anticipating on Tuesday night was a couple of things. More than likely going to be that break of the neckline, or sorry, excuse me, break of the trend line of Ethereum, where we had our alert set, and then we did have that and a retest of that level and continuing down tie. So my targets as of now, if I get rid of that, will be first one's here. Absolutely here, which would be around the 22,200 sats, and of course down here at this next major pivot point, and then we've got somewhat a level just underneath. So look, honestly, very first target would be the 22,200 sat mark, right around where we see this pause in the market just to the left.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get my chart up. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
And we've said this a number of times and posted it a number of times. F is our indicator or our sign of strength for alts.
For the alts, yeah.
So I've just moved my stop up. Excuse me, I've just moved my fibs up. I've got multiple fibs drawn for a number of reasons that I'm not going to get into. Share that with you, the ads.
Oh, yep.
So let me just get my screen happening here. Yeah, so looking at where we are now, I had my fibs, I had my zero fib here, but I have moved it up thus far. That was the 61 extension, which I think you had too.
Yeah.
Too, man, on yours. So as I've said a number of times, a few signs are pointing to this area around here for me. So that's 20. What is that? 21,875. This golden pocket region, very similar to what you saw. Yeah. So I think with what we've experienced here, this was our first take profit level on these sort of little pin bars in this first bearish engulfing candle. I exited. And then we've got a little custom indicator here giving us a confirmation of an exit as well. And our first EMA cross signal on F for a little bit of time. I'm not paying a huge amount of attention to that. We also had Steamroller telling us we were clearly oversold as well. But heading back down and looking at the runs that alts have had, the runs that FBTC has had even, I'm still anticipating that we might get a bounce and a consolidation between that 21,000 and 21,005 or 21,800, 21,500. And from there, and it's just, I've drawn this from somewhere else, but it sort of leads to me to believe that this area here is going to be of interest. So that certainly could mean that alts breathe for a little bit, take a little bit of a pullback, as many of them need to do. Should FBTC hold around that point and we get something like this, I think we'll be off to the races yet again. So a lot of people I'm talking to, some very high level traders that I'm talking to are saying that they're very, very bullish on FBTC, FUSD, more so the BTC pair, which is where we'd be expecting alts again to sort of rally and have a little bit of a run. So don't get disheveled or disgruntled if you've missed out on alt runs. Come over to our Discord if you want, and we'll tell you this shit all day long. We're posting it like crazy at the moment.
Yeah,
a lot of very easy setups and a lot of easy trades. So that's it for the USD pairs and the FBTC pair. We might just take one look at XRP USD. I wouldn't say I got burned on XRP BTC. But as a lesson from me to you, don't trade that fucker. That is just a pain in the ass. To trade the XRP BTC pair, ended up being 3% down, I think it was, or something on that trade, on the BTC pair. All the technicals looked like it was due for a run. There was like this beautiful edge-to-edge trade playing out. It retested the bottom of the Kumo. Some of our custom indicators and some indicators that I have were telling me that everything was headed upwards. And it just was just a flop. So just stay away from it. It never treats me right.
Fair enough, bro.
Unlike you on the USD pair.
Yeah, with USD pair, it's a little bit hard to read at the moment. If I go down up, if I scroll out to the daily, we are descending, and we have been for a little while now since the 30th of April, and I'm just interested to see what happened in that week. But what we did was we did wick down to the bottom of this demand zone, and honestly, Ty, it looks like this level is going to be pretty much gone at this point. If we come down and test this 18 cent mark again, I'd be very surprised if we do have another, significant bounce to the upside if we do get there again. But I'd probably be more inclined to use my fibs for this instance, where we could probably see why we did wick down to that level at the 50. That level could be respected again. Let me get rid of this level of demand here. So if we're just using our fibs to gauge which direction we're in, obviously our 38 and our 50 are going to be the next levels of significance for XRP USD Thai. If we do break below 16 cents is probably where I would pick it. And in that case, there is a decent level of demand there also on the way down at the 61. So that looks okay. The only thing that I would keep in mind if we do start to descend is when we get around the 50, our levels of RSI, CCI, and even Steamroller will be more towards the oversold level when we get down to here. So whether or not we see that wick down to the 61.8 and that demand level remains to be seen. But that looks like the direction that we're headed anyway.
And just not to harp on this, but isn't this just chart porn? Look at that.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
So that's your confirmation along with the steamroller indicator here. And then that's obviously your next pivot or your next swing with confirmation on steamroller again.
Yeah, and that could be something like that, perhaps. Who knows? We shall see. So interesting to see what happens on XRP. I'm not even looking at it, to be honest. XRP can burn in hell. I actually do not care what XRP does. So. Fuck that.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So for more on this, you can head over to unitytradinggroup.com. The article, the recent podcast that we released, we've got our 3-step beginner trading strategy there as well. And if you don't know where to start in this market, leave your name and email address and you'll get access to a complete sort of sleuth of beginner trading guides that we put together about a year and a half ago. Tons of people have read and watched those videos and guides. So you'll get everything you need to there as well. Obviously, we've got all our guides and you can join us in Discord free, 100% free. We've been very active inside the free Discord, daily BTC updates, which will occur every day from now on. We've got daily altcoin updates and just little bits of alpha that we post and information that we share as well. Our recent article and video guide with Zoran Cole, absolutely blew up. We've had so many people comment and give great feedback on that with his Ichimoku masterclass that he shared in his price action masterclass. You can go to the Trade Hacker podcast. We're going to pop it up there in just a minute as well. Episodes there with Bitcoin Jack as well. All our guides. We've got a couple episodes coming up next week. We'll be sharing. We shared it originally, then logistically we had a little bit of issue. We're going to reshare the Ichimoku, again, another Ichimoku masterclass on the other side of the coin and chat with Crypto Says. And then we got Brent from Blockchain Blitz. He was an ICO advisor and a bit of a volume profile expert. He's the one that got me into the VPVR and our session volumes and fixed range volume. He gives us a masterclass on how to use volume indicators as well. And then we've got a whole bunch of guys coming up. We've got Satoshi Heavy.
Yeah.
We've got I just confirmed. I won't say who it is, but confirmed like one of the guests I've been trying to get on the show for like the last. I think I messaged him in March last year, and I messaged him again today or yesterday and said, "Hey man, like wonder if you had seen this." And he's like, "Bang, hey man." He's like, "Yeah, I always like shun podcasts, but I thought I'd give this one a go." So super excited to record that and share that in the next few weeks. So that will be an amazing episode. So for more of that, go to unitytradinggroup.com, come into the Discord, trade with us, trade safe. Don't get caught up in alts at the moment. Have your stop losses in place, have a plan. or plan to fail. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thanks, guys.